All right, good morning, amigos. This is Monty from Monty Delivers. What's today? Thursday morning, Thursday the 25th, I think, or 26th, 25th, I believe. Just getting started doing a morning, fairly, a morning DoorDash. It's about 10, it's probably 11 something now. Yeah, it's 11:22, a little bit later than I wanted to start. But, I like to come out at least 2 hours during the weekdays, preferably 3, but a lot of times even at 10 o'clock, it's still pretty slow. Got my first order over here at Meyer Park, Chick-fil-A, bringing it a couple of bit up West Belford here. And, getting started. Finished 2 quests this week, so I had a really good week on UberEats. Barely turned DoorDash on at all. I think maybe I've done 2, maybe earned like $20 this week on DoorDash, which is fine. I think so far this week on UberEats, it's over. I don't know. I think it's over 200. I'll have to look at the breakdown. But I am close to my goal of 2,000. I can't remember the number now. It may be around 1,400. So what's that? Around 60% or so of my goal. So for the month of June, my June jump off. And sorry, I haven't been having much luck uploading. I do have a new video that should be out today. Just passed my drop off. It's over here somewhere. But yeah, sorry, I'm being distracted here. Just making sure I'm going to the right place. Yeah, so I'll see you at the drop off. All right, got that dropped off and gonna go up into the Village Medical Center, see what it's like up there this morning, and I'll see you at the next order. I got the flags out, ready for the 4th. All right, just picked up this Uber Eats order for $6 and something, I think going to Subway. It's funny because I got a DoorDash offer for like $4 and something going towards the medical center. And then I waited and hesitated because I almost always happens that I get an order from one or the other around the same time. It's uncanny. So I figured, well, let me hold off a few seconds and see if DoorDash offers me something. Uber Eats offers me something, which they did, of course. And it was paying more. Only had a few seconds to look at it. So it seemed like a better order. It was a little closer. I know I'll eventually end up at the medical center, but hopefully this isn't at some apartments or apartments or something like that, which probably is, but whatever. It was more money. It's a little bit closer. And yeah, we go take care of that. Although Subway is sometimes kind of slow. I don't know where the other place was, actually, the one for DoorDash, but we'll see. All right, see ya. Hello. For Carmen, yes.
What's
Carmen.
your name?
Carmen.
Oh, one moment, please.
Okay, got you. Sorry. All right, got this Subway order for Uber Eats. And go drop it off. Not too far away. Seems like an apartment building. I think I know the building. Sure I've been there before a couple of times. All right, so you have to drop off. Wait, what? 108 to 118, 101 to 105. Where's 106? Damn it. Always. Always a pain in the You know where 106? Sorry? 10, never mind. Sorry, it's right here. Thank you, man. On to Chick-fil-A. Going back towards my lane, actually, which I guess is okay. I think I'm this way. As usual. No, I think I'm this way. I hate apartment complexes. Oh, I should say I hate delivering to them. I'd like to own a couple, maybe. Maybe. See you at the pickup. Hello. Hi, for Darren P. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
You're a YouTuber? You're a YouTuber?
Yeah, I do put it on YouTube, yeah. Yeah. It's called Monty Delivers.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Thank
it's new.
you.
All right, thank you. Sorry. Oh, thank you. Did YouTube. And I said, yeah, I gave her the name. I'm kind of still shy about telling people about the YouTube channel. But gotta get over that. All right. I think I will. I think I will take the feeder up 610. Just kind of a pain to get over there. Well, either way, it's a pain, because Beach Nut is a pain. I'm just gonna go through Bel Air. A little bit easier. All right, see you at the drop off. Hi, it's for Darren.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. It's wild. This building, there must be it seems like it's mostly medical offices. In fact, I think my son used to come over here for his food allergy treatment. But every time on that first floor, I always hear little kids screaming, hollering, crying. So there must be like a pediatrician that gives vaccinations, I guess. Poor little guys, just hollering and screaming for dear life. I remember those days. That's funny. I was a screamer and hollerer, crier at our vaccinations. And I don't know, I remember my brother, my younger brother, who's about 4 years younger, he never cried. He never cried. I never remember him crying. All right, we have Jersey Mike's, DoorDash, I'm sorry, Uber Eats. Yeah, let's do this. $9.86. Hey, we'll take it. All right, see you at the drop-off. I mean the pickup. Yeah, Sabra E. All right, gotcha. All right, that took a minute, but whatever. Oops, turn this alarm off before it goes off. All right, I'll see you at the pickup, at the drop-off. All right, forgot to film that last drop-off, but for Jersey Mike's, but that went fine. Got another add-on for Chick-fil-A. Going up way. Pretty low dollar amount, but it's just right up the street. It's Chick-fil-A and then right down the street, so why not? Hello. All right, just dropped off that Chick-fil-A order. Place I've been to before. It's the same lady. Last time she was getting Popeyes. This time she got Chick-fil-A because she likes chicken. And it's kind of a weird area there, so I knew which door this time to go to. Last time I went to the wrong door. Anyway, it's about almost right at 1 o'clock. Trying to decide if I want to stay around for a little bit more. I usually like to go in around 1 this time of year just because it's so damn hot. And pretty much after lunch, 1:30, definitely by 2 o'clock, it's pretty dead pretty much everywhere. So I'll go back, recharge. Usually by then, battery's on like 70%. And the dinner shift is much better. So I try to do that. And it's cooler and there's less traffic. I've talked about that. I think I talked about it in the video that's coming out today. So yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about this work. I'm gonna go this way so I'm not on the major street. And I can just, well, I was gonna talk about stuff. Maybe I'll talk about it on the way there. All right, let's see. Back to Chick-fil-A again for $4.09. Going to somewhere in Meyerland Plaza. Well, we'll accept it. It's going back the other way. So yeah, I might pick this one up, and I might make this one my last one for the evening, because you can get, sick from this heat. And not really know it until you're sick, until you're in an ambulance. I grew up here, even though I lived other places for much of my life, but grew up here, so I'm used to the heat and the humidity, but I hate it. I'm the type of person I'd rather be cold than hot any day of the week. Although the cold gets old fast too, because I lived in up north, New York City, for several years, about half a decade, and the snow and cold was novel maybe the first 2 years, but at that third year I was like, oh, I am kind of over this. So honestly, the best weather, although the best weather was California, was Southern California. Actually, I like Northern California better. Well, San Francisco, there, Bay Area. But that humidity, lack of humidity was great. The only thing about Southern California that I missed over Texas was clouds. Like, the sun is great, but sun day after day after day after day with no break from the sun, no clouds, except during the rainy season, which is like January, February. Gets kind of old after a while. So anyway, I'll talk about the gig work after this pickup and why it's cool, but not cool like weather, cool like fun. Hi, for Ray G. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Right.
Awesome, thank you.
My pleasure. You have a good one.
You too. All right, let's get this dropped off. I'm cutting through this parking lot because, shade. The place is right across here, so it's pretty close by. But the more I can be out of the sun, the better. It's literally across the parking lot here. Hi, Ray? There you go. And there's your drink. Got it. Thank you. You too. See if I get another order. All right, so since I'm here waiting, I'll talk about a couple of things that's sort of been on my mind, and really been on my mind since I started doing this last November. And that is it's a business. My parents were this way, even though both of them, well, my dad certainly, pretty much all of his life worked a very difficult job, very hard labor, very dangerous in many aspects, certainly exposed to the elements, cold in the wintertime, heat in the summertime. I think starting when he was like 16 or maybe even younger, because I think he lied about his age to work, all the way up until he passed away. Now, he turned that into more than just working a labor job. Because it was a union-centric job, he became a vice president and president for several years or several terms for that job. My mom worked various jobs, but since the 80s, she has been a real estate agent, real estate broker, and done that exclusively for the past, 30 years at least. So they both were always entrepreneurial, business-minded, or business ownership-minded, and so it's something you see growing up, but I also think it's a temperament as well. I think certainly my grandmother, she was certainly independent. She did not like having a boss. And whenever, I was very little when she was very small when she was working, but she would often take me to her work. She was a custodian at a school, actually. But she would set her own parameters. She had a boss, she had to be there, but she was in charge of herself. I'm going to use the word despise having a boss. I like working for myself. I like setting my own schedule. I like setting as best I can, or at least having a big part in how much income I have, how much money I make. But I have responsibilities too, and have. I mean, I've pretty much been on my own, with help, of course, to some extent. But when I first became an adult, my parents weren't really in a place to help me very much at all. So I had to, if I wanted a car, I wanted my own apartment, I had to get a job. Eventually, I used that job to pay for school. Other than my first year or two, I think, of college, I paid for it out of pocket, as well as having an apartment, having a car. So, you have to work. You have to have these jobs you hate. And I can't think of any job I've had, and I've worked for myself a lot as well in real estate, both in New York here and here in Texas. But also, I've worked for, and then also as a writer, a freelance journalist. But prior to that, or right after college, but even still had a job, bookstores, etc. Worked for elected officials, worked on campaigns, worked at financial investment companies, worked at telecommunications companies, and obviously teaching, and somebody telling me how much I can make, but even when I need to get up, when I can leave, when I can take a break, what responsibilities I have to have, or I'm basically in trouble, and these days it's usually in trouble with someone much younger than myself, actually, or at least a decade younger, because I'm in my 50s. So that aspect of work really is not something I'm really into. I don't like another person telling me as a grown person when I can go to the bathroom, when I can eat lunch, when I can stop working, when I need to start working, how much I can work. It's just not me. And now, that being said, business ownership, entrepreneurship, self-employment is very difficult. One of the reasons I went into teaching, I know people, you must love kids, or, it's such a sacrifice. You know what? My main focus in life is providing for my family, my kids, my wife, myself, and those are the number one people in my life. Everyone else comes way down the list. I wouldn't even say second. Certainly other people's children. I take my responsibilities as a teacher very seriously. I believe in education, probably more than most of the parents actually believe in true education. So, it is what it is. But one of the reasons is I needed a steady income to buy a house, etc. Mainly to buy a house, because it's much easier when you have a steady income than when you're self-employed, unless you've already made millions of dollars. But man, and the thing about this, and who knows? I mean, there probably are. Certainly, I think people like Wilser, Crank Hustle out in Los Angeles. Specific to his market, though, the amount of money he can make, he's been able to make. I think certainly, if he's doing what he can do, like the $10,000 a month, his income would be higher than mine as a teacher of over a decade, or right at a decade. And it's funny because I'm watching a video by Watt Hustle. He's talking about teachers, one of the top 5 millionaires, one of the top 5 professions of millionaires, of people that become millionaires. One of them is teacher. I think it's like number 2 or 3 or something like that. And that could be the case. There are plenty of people I know who've worked I think in Texas, you can retire after 26 years or 28 years of service. We got a Cafe Express. I'm definitely taking this. It's right here. I'm right here next to it, and it's here in Bel Air, right in Bel Air. So, all right, I'll accept it. It's going to be a minute before it's ready, so let me pause UberEats so I don't have to. And I definitely think this will be my last one. But anyway, $25 so far for about 2 hours, 2.5. There's tips still coming in, so that's not the final amount. But yeah, being able to make, being able to do this, it's fun. I like riding around. I get to see stuff. I like nature. I like being out. I like being active. There's nothing, I think, worse than sitting at a desk doing the same thing all day long. Exceedingly boring. So, and unhealthy for you. Being in a box all day long. That's one of the problems I really have with education, is that kids are stuck in usually a beige box, including my classroom. Even as colorful as you try to make it, it's a box with hard plastic or wooden chairs all day long. And it's not something I want for my kids. It's not something I want them to, I want them to do what they want to do, what they strive to do. But yeah. So yeah, this is fun to me. I do wish I could make it full time. I wish I could replace my income with doing this day in and day out. It has its ups and downs. It has its minuses, its cons. But overall, so far for me, I actually get excited getting up in the morning to do this. I'm going to be honest. I don't get excited with my teaching position. I dread maybe Sunday nights, certainly less so than when I was in public school, but because I am a private school teacher for the past couple of years. But summer's great. Now, the one thing I'm going to say, because a lot of people are like, oh, you guys have summer vacation. Guess what? Teachers don't get paid over the summer, all right? The way most contracts are, you get paid, your payment is stretched out over the year, right? So you get paid for 10 months, but your pay is stretched out over 12 months. So you are not getting paid for the summer, unless you're working summer school, or unless you have a different contract, like you're a year-long school or something like that, or a year-round school. But anyway, let me get this order and shut up, and I'll talk to you in a second. Yep, Tamika? Tamika.
We're still working on it.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I'm on my way to drop off this Cafe Express delivery. I think I could finish talking about what I was talking about. One of the other things about that I despise about jobs and workplaces is the politics and the personalities. I'm pretty quiet. I tend to keep to myself, or I prefer to keep to myself. I usually have, people I'm friendly with at work, but I'm under no assumption that they are my friends, as we might have thought of friends when you were younger, or you might still have, those people, those ride or die people. Because most workplace conversation is complaining or gossiping. And I don't really have time for either. I'm of the mindset, if you're complaining, now that doesn't mean I have complaints or I don't express them sometimes. But it's those folks who are constantly, every day, it's the same complaint. They're tired. So teacher, this student, that student, this administrator, that administrator, this parent, that parent. All of those things are true, which is why I don't want to be there. My point is, or anywhere, and you need to go around me, buddy. If you're complaining about it all the time, do something else. It's obviously not where you want to be. If you're complaining about, here it is, Monday again, or thank God it's Friday, something's wrong, because those 5 days are your life. Your life doesn't begin at 5 o'clock or whatever, 4 o'clock on Friday and end on Monday morning. And then just the petty the politics of it, who likes who. And it's very obvious when you're not the person that's friendly with the higher ups. And like I said, these days a lot of my higher ups are younger than I am, or at least a few years younger. It's just and wanting to hang out and go to a bar, go to eat, go to lunch. Like I said, I will do that sometimes, and there are people who I genuinely find it enjoyable to be around sometimes. But for the most part, I see you 8 hours a day. I don't want to see you more than that. For the most part, I'd rather be at home. I'd rather be with my family, my wife, my kids, on my couch, or at my computer, my desk, or on my e-bike, doing something else. I don't want to be hanging out with you. And those are not the people that get promoted. I know that's something I deserve, that I probably won't get this year. Is because of politics, or this coming school year is because of personality politics, All right, let's do this drop off. I'm not going to record it because it's a medical facility, so I'll see you after the drop off. All right, amigos, that is going to be it for my morning lunch shift. It's right at 2 o'clock, pretty much on the dot. And I want to go charge up, get out of the heat, charge up, and be ready for dinner. I don't know what the final numbers will be, but I will put them up. I think right now, before all the tips process, I don't know. I think it's almost 50. So not too bad at all. Getting me closer to that 2,000 goal. And all right, I'll see you in a few hours. Adios.